made you want to get into like kind of doing like ghost adventure type stuff? You know what I mean? Like
I'm a naturally curious person.
for sure,
I
dude.
can't, I've always been, that white guy. I
Right,
heard a bump. What's that?
right,
And go in anyway. And so watching the shows all the time anyway, I'm like, you know what? I know enough about it. At least,
right.
what I've seen on TV. Give it a try.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I joined the group. They got me trained up. They're like, oh yeah, this is BS. That's right. Oh, and yeah, that's
Right,
BS.
right.
But so I got trained up. Like the very first meeting that we had, we spent like almost 3 hours listening to random audio, looking at random pictures.
No kidding.
Yeah, like what's this? Oh, that's whoa, damn, what is that? Um,
That's crazy.
anywhere from smoke, dust, bugs. Uh, the one picture was an actual web, a distorted web in a game camera.
Right.
And because what they did is they went back later and they seen that big ass web fall out of a tree and land in another branch. Yeah, at first, they're like, "Whoa,
Right.
what is that?" And they never thought to really look at it. And then later on, they found, "Oh yeah, there it is." So and then they showed pictures you couldn't quite explain. I'm checking it out, and like they showed me what's believed to be the difference between dust, orbs, all that good stuff. Like be able to tell the difference.
So
Like
you were part of like a ghost hunting team, dude.
yeah,
Dude, that's freaking awesome, man. That is
yeah,
badass, dude. I love that.
yeah. Just a small
Yeah,
group.
for
Most of
sure.
them were family.
Right.
Well, not mine, but
Right.
I was the outsider. I got to
That's
join
awesome.
in with them. It was a lot of fun.
That is freaking crazy.
The one particular house we went to, shit got crazy. Um, yeah, I walked in and you go into enough houses, you get enough experience.
Right.
I'm not gonna say you'll feel it, but you walk into a room and even if you're not like ghosts, looking for ghosts,
Right.
you can feel a difference in a room. Atmosphere, temperature. You get a vibe. You can get a feeling, like, oh, okay, well, this room's kind of heavy, or
You
oh,
could feel the
this is
energy.
relaxed. This yeah,
Yeah.
like oh wow, this is a really pleasant atmosphere. That house right off the bat, we stepped through the door, and like the room just felt heavy.
You could just tell like immediately
Like yeah, like
like
you
something.
you felt you no this guy with there were three kids, yeah, three kids, and one was living uh, with her biological mother. So the guy altogether had four kids, and like you walk into the room, and it's all smiling faces. It's hi, how are you? Please figure this shit out for us. And
Right.
so I
So it wasn't a vacated like abandoned building.
no, this is actual
It was
residence.
a residence, and they
Yeah.
wanted you guys to kind of investigate like
Yeah, like
some
see if
weird
they
stuff going
weren't
on.
yeah, see if they weren't
Huh.
going crazy,
Right.
like weird things have been happening. They're like, "Hey, please tell us it's not just us."
Right.
You walk in there and like have you ever walked into a room where someone just had a huge argument
Yes.
and you could feel it in the
Yes,
air like
dude.
what the I just
Yeah.
walk into,
Yes, dude. Yes.
As soon as I walk through that door, I'm looking at smiling faces, but the air in the room just that exact feeling. Like, dude, what did I just walk into?
Right.
Like, okay, I'll come back. But
Like something's off here for sure.
yeah. So what we do is how we did it. We got all of our equipment set up first and foremost. Um, Went over with the family what we're gonna be doing, what we want them to do, and sign. If we fall down the stairs saying, "Hey, we're not going to sue you,"
Right. Yeah. A waiver or
standard
whatever.
standard liability
Yeah,
waiver.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So we got through all that stuff, and Right after we got the signature, we kept the interview going, but we turned all the cameras that we just set up on. And, we're talking, we're having a good conversation. The people are describing what's going on at this house. And now these are like, a real tight family.
Right.
Real tight family. They'd been living there, I can't quite remember how long they said, but it just seemed like every single emotion that they had in that house was just crazy amplified. Like, if they're mildly annoyed with each other, they're ready to just tear each other apart. It's like
Right.
they've been stuck in an elevator for weeks together, sort of thing.
Right.
Like one more bump, and people are just gonna lose it. Uh, and you could kind of catch that because like anytime they talk to each other, they tiptoed.
Right.
Like it was just so crazy.
That is
They're
crazy.
they're tiptoeing what they say. Like overbearingly sweet. Oh, please, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it could be just because of guests, but it felt like
There
super.
was some.
They're
There.
super forced.
Right.
There's difference between having company and like, oh well, they're pissed off at me,
Right.
but I still need this.
Right. For sure.
Um.
So what'd you guys do? You guys going at like nighttime or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's try. We try to. What time of year was it? I want to say it was late summer, early fall. And what we try to do is we try to get it late enough to where it's not like, crazy late because we don't ask the people to go to a hotel or go to family.
Right.
We just like, hey, go to a room that we're not going to be, looking into and go from there.
Right.
So what we did was we had them stay right in the living room, and we're like, just try to keep quiet. It's late enough that most of the traffic's gonna be down, so that's like eliminate as much sound as humanly possible.
Right. Okay.
Get if there is a sound, you can scrutinize it. Pay attention
To what you're
to
hearing.
what you're hearing and say, oh yeah, that was this. You know, Eliminate noise so you know exactly what it is. Like say, try to give a good example. Turning of a doorknob, you know, moving a door, so something like anything. Keep it quiet enough in there that you can differentiate sounds.
Right.
So the very first meeting and investigation we did, it went it went okay. We not really any bombs, not really anything weird. Well, right towards the end, it started getting goofy. We went into this house twice. Um, the first time, we were trying to be, a little agitating, try to get it to kick up if it's there.
Right.
Um, didn't get a whole lot. Got a few sounds later on. What sounded like whispers on an EVP.
Really.
Yeah. Nothing like real. Uh, you couldn't really understand it, but you could hear the and then it just cut out. Like it was quiet,
Really.
cut out. Yeah, and just like the shows, you ask a question, and then you stay dead silent. Don't do nothing. Don't move. Eliminate as much sound as humanly possible. So, um, the guy that I was with in the room, because we go in pairs for each room, he asked a question, and uh, just one of the textbooks, anybody's here, what's your name, da 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 da
Right.
da. Well, in between, we heard a and it was just gone. There didn't get anything the rest of the time.
Do you have a, does that like, when you're doing that, do you get like the hairs on the back of your neck? Like just thinking about it, dude, it's like, it's kind of like a, situation that
The
will get
hairs,
your, get your
The hairs kind of go away after after a couple investigations. The first one, I'll go back to that one. I probably should have started with that
That's all
story,
right. It's okay.
but this one's far more entertaining, to be totally honest. Um, so we're, it's the end of the night. It's getting to be about 11:30, somewhere in that window. So we're packing it up, and I shout down. I'm like, "Hey, such and such," I'm
Right.
not gonna do names or any of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, but I'm like, "Hey, person, did you did you already grab this?" And I felt a hand on my back push me.
Nuh-uh,
I
dude.
was like right at the edge of the stairs, like right up at the top, and I thought it was one of the other guys screwing with me. We jest all the time.
Right.
It's absolutely nothing. Well, scared the piss out of me. I felt the hand on my back just like if I were to do it right now,
No kidding.
and I stumbled. I got a couple steps down, and I scared, let out a couple of expletives. I didn't want the kids to hear it, but happens.
Right, right.
I'm like, you such and such turned around, and there's just nobody. There's nobody up there. It's just
Dude,
me.
that's creepy, man.
And at that point in time, I'm like, okay, now we gotta talk about this.
Right.
Because we didn't hear nothing weird. We didn't get nothing really goofy the first time around, and then that happened.
That's crazy, dude.
So I, I'm freaked out at this point.
Right.
I'm telling them what happened. They're like, okay, well, write it down. Okay. Um, we were going over notes and all that good stuff. We listened to the audio later on, and that's when we got the whispering. Well, while we were still there, you ever see them? These particular ones were crosses. The live, laugh, love.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um, the love one, literally, it didn't just fall off; it flung off. Like it went like almost 3 feet down off the wall, like out and down,
No kidding.
and the whole top of the cross just cracked.
Really?
Yeah, like it was not quite ceramic, but that cheapy rock stuff for
Oh,
decorations.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
one of those, not built to take a beating, but
Right.
wall decorations.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the top of it. It had the fancy line work on it and everything. Well, the top just cracked right off.
That's freaking crazy, man.
So we were a little creeped out by that. Unfortunately, we didn't get it on camera, but we all saw it. We were in the room when it came off. So we're like, okay, yeah, we're probably gonna come back
There's
here.
something going on.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, for
something a little
sure.
funny. So we waited a couple weeks. We called the guy up and said, "Hey, this is all we found," and of course the cross and da da da. Um, so about a week later, we came back, and that's when all hell broke loose. We got everything set up again. We brought the whole family into the dining room to talk about what we had, what we
Right.
got. So we did all that, and then we started our investigation. Well, the guy said, he's like, "Hey, the owner of the house, he's like, hey, I appreciate you guys are trying to find something, but a little less, taunting. We gotta live here. I know this is fun, but we
Right.
gotta
You're like
live
they're
here
worried that you're right.
because it whatever it didn't mess with the kids. It didn't mess with the wife. It messed with the father. What it was, I don't know, but it messed with the father. It messed with myself, and it messed with our leader as such.
Huh.
And that's about it. Like it wouldn't mess with the women,
Right.
never mess with the kids, other than like the super aggravated emotions, like the
Right.
heightened emotions. The whole family dealt with that. So we got done, we got done with the interview. Started investigating. We're like, hey, don't taunt, don't taunt. Standard questions. They gotta live here too.
Right.
Well, throughout this one got really active.
Do you guys clear the energy at all? Do you guys get
We
into?
smudge at the end.
Do you smudge at the? Okay, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I'm totally into smudging, dude.
yeah, it helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we smudged and did a few different prayers. Um, we did the couple standard
Right.
Christian prayers, couple
Right.
Jewish prayers. Um, but anywho, middle of the investigation, I'm sitting on the little girl's bed because one of the active rooms, even though nothing happens to the kids themselves,
Right.
one of the active rooms is the little girl's room, and they have bunk beds in there, and that's their room. So we're just doing our thing, asking questions, super laid back.
Right.
As chill as how we are right now.
Right.
I'm just hanging out, and I'm leaning forward, and I'm just I'm just sitting at the edge of the bed,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions. I start tapping my foot. Like that's starting to get a little more aggressive,
Yeah.
and I'm fidgeting with my fingers. Well, pretty soon, it dawns on me, dude, I am pissed off.
Really.
Like legit pissed off. Like not annoyed, not
Right.
impatient, not
Just.
just pure
Huh.
unadulterated rage, pissed off.
About what?
Don't know, no clue.
Really.
Dude, I was just asking questions. Okay, we're here again. If you want to say who you are, please do.
Right.
Wait a couple seconds. Why are you here at this house? Did you die here?
Just
Doing
questions. You're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
standard questions.
Standard questions.
And I get crazy pissed off. And I cannot tell you why. To this day, I cannot tell you what had me pissed off.
Huh.
I was just wildly pissed off. And it was bad enough my partner's like, Forrest, you okay? You okay over there? And I said, yeah, I'm good. I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't even remotely
Like, yeah.
close to being okay. Like, I'm ready to just punch the wall or something.
Right.
Ready to freak out. And it slowly, it slowly built and then boom there. And just as quick as the boom came, gone.
Really.
Chill again. Just all
That's
right.
nuts, man.
Just asking questions, no big deal. Just having fun. Gone. Just completely gone. So we move around the house or around the room a little bit, switch spots. Um, Now my back's against the toy chest. And I'm not thinking about anything, I'm just leaning back, bump this toy chest 100 times. That's the only time I actually got really frustrated because I'm trying to eliminate noise, not, leave a whole bunch of toys behind me.
Right.
So finally, I'm just like, okay, well, if we get anything, it's gonna be ruined. You keep bumping into this toy chest. Just sit forward a little bit, eliminate that. So we keep asking questions. I can't remember exactly what it was. Um, I'm thinking it was something in the nature of, okay, well, why the girls' room? Like, what about this room do you like?
Right.
And pretty soon, like right behind me, I hear one of the dolls go off. Just do a little baby giggle.
Right.
Cliche.
Seriously?
Yeah, dude.
Are you serious,
Dude.
dude?
Honest,
Dude, that's
honest to
crazy.
Christ.
That is
It-
freaking nuts, man.
Like it was so.
Dude,
It was
I would be like ready to be like booking it,
dude,
man. I'd be like,
I pissed.
oh man.
Not really, but man, oh man, if there was a time. But no, like at first I'm sitting there thinking, okay, did that just happen?
Right.
Because dude, that's crazy cliche.
That
Like,
is, dude.
like
Like,
there's not
I don't
there's
believe
not
in
a horror
coincidences.
movie
Right.
that has ever not had the baby doll giggle.
Yep.
So
For sure, dude.
I'm
And
like,
I
there's no way that just happened. And the only confirmation that I got that it happened was my partner sitting across from me. In a dark room, I could still see this dude's eyes, wide as saucers.
right.
Like, what?
Yeah, he's probably just like, what the heck just happened?
He's like, and he asked, he's stammering in his voice. He's like, "Did you bump the chest again?" I'm like, "No, dude. I've moved up.
Right.
I'm like 6 inches or so away from the chest." And he's like, "Well, okay, well, did you hear that too?"
That's
And
freaking crazy.
one of the things we always try to do everywhere is we don't want to lead each other on. We,
Right.
we're not like, "Did you hear that little girl giggle in the other room?" Or,
Right, yeah.
"Did you hear this?" Because it's too easy.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And we want to avoid that.
Right.
So he just said, Did you hear that?" "Yes, I did." He's like, "What was it?" And I said, "That was one of the little baby dolls behind me going off." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what I heard too."
That's nuts, man.
He's like, I was wondering if that's what it was. And I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's what that
Dude,
was."
I would have like got goosebumps. Like, I would be like, all right, I'm gonna step outside for a minute.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
But yeah, so we had that, and about another 20 minutes or so goes by. We're asking questions again. Um, of course, we each have a little tablet in our hands,
Right.
writing everything happens down, the time. So I get done with that. A little bit of time goes by, and that anger came back. Like the same exact rage. Like I want to hurt you. I am pissed
Huh.
off at you.
Right.
Came back, but this time it came back gradually. And it happened while I was asking questions. And one of the things, like I do it, yeah, like if I'm around friends or
Right.
whatever, I don't filter myself.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Not worried about it.
Yeah.
If I see somebody at work or somewhere that's just, I guess, very motherly, I could say, I'm gonna watch my language.
Right. Yeah, respect thing or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a family downstairs that I've known for about a grand total of 8 hours now.
Right.
I want to be as professional as humanly possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not be belligerent. Well, I'm asking questions, and I'm like, "Why are you here? Why are you fucking with this family? Like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Come on,
Right.
let me fuck." And pretty soon I get to shouting, like, "This isn't your fucking house, man.
Right.
Why are you here?"
Dude.
And finally, I'm like, "This is my house." I said, "This is my house."
Huh. That's kind of creepy, dude.
Yeah, this is
Family
my
downstairs probably like, what the heck is going on up
I'm
there?
like, this is my house now. And and again, I lower back down.
Right.
And I'm just like, "What was that?"
Right.
I'm a chill guy.
Right.
That's not
Right. Just came out of nowhere.
just
kinda
out of
like a-
nowhere. I
Yeah.
was pissed off. Wanting whatever it was to leave, and I just went ape shit,
Huh.
like mad.
Do you think it like, I don't know, like, I don't want it to sound weird or anything, but do you think it like was like talking through you or something? Do you think like,
You know,
do you know, or do you
I've-
think you were absorbing like its thoughts?
I've always tried to be the very last person to say that.
Right.
Everyone I've ever talked to is like, that's kind of called possession, Forrest."
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's what that is. And I'm like, "Oh no,
Right.
no,
Right.
I felt it was me the whole time. I could tell, it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like somebody hopped in and started taking me over and shit.
Right.
I'm like, I was just super pissed.
Yeah. Right.
And they're like, well, that's something to think about.
Right. For sure.
So that all happened. Finally, we get done. Uh, Smudge the
Mm-hmm.
house, say some blessings, say some prayers, try to try to do something about it.
Right.
Like, hey, let's not aggravate it anymore. Um,
Not just leave them hanging, like,
yeah, yeah, like, yeah.
for sure.
Hey, this
Good
was
luck.
fun.
Best of luck to
Yeah,
you.
this was fun. Good luck.
Oh man, that's funny.
So yeah, no, we're trying to do something to
Right.
help them out. Um, the father came from a super religious family anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so we're just like, hey, if it works, read the Bible out loud here and there. Do something.
Right. Right.
And if it gets worse, seek help elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are ordained.
Right.
We're just a couple weird, just a group of weirdos from Beaver Center looking for ghosts.
Right.
Um, so we get done with it, and I stayed in touch with the guy long after, and uh, what they did, and it caused. I don't know if it was that or if it was just the natural route of how things were going to progress, but him and his wife split for a little while.
Huh.
Like it got so bad that him and his wife split. They're at each other's throats all the time. The family was at each other's throats all the time.
Right.
They split, got back, everything was okay. And what they tried their absolute best to do. Um, have you ever seen Haunted Honeymoon by chance?
I don't think I have, no.
Fantastic movie, corny.
Is
Like
it?
yeah,
Is it like an old movie or
oh
something?
yeah,
Is it?
old like it wasn't a Mel Brooks movie, but it had Gene Wilder and it
Oh,
had
okay.
it had that vibe.
Yeah.
Just a real corny, funny.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene because the main character, Gene Wilder's character, is just an absolute coward. Like he's scared of everything. If there's gonna be somebody that's scared of whatever, it's gonna be him.
Right.
Well, they're on their way to his family's mansion, and the wife's just like, okay, well, let's try this. How about every time you see something or hear something scary, just say, oh, must have been my imagination. So they pretty much did that family pretty much did the exact same thing.
Right.
Anytime something weird happened, they're just like, oh, well, yeah, that's
Ignored it.
yep, ignored it. Like, oh, yep, look at what our imagination's doing
Mm-hmm.
again, and it calmed down. It didn't go away. Um, they they ended up going to therapy and
Right.
um learn learn better communication
For sure, dude.
skills. And one of the things that they realize is if they keep calm, discuss things, remember not to get loud or get real mad at each
Don't
other.
feed into it.
Don't feed it.
Mm-hmm.
The nights are quiet.
Right.
The days are quiet. Everything's chill in the house.
Yep.
You'll still get the bombs. You'll still get the random things, but no one's freaking out anymore. They're the typical family.
Yep.
You all get pissed off at each other.
Right.
They still had all that good stuff, but
It happens, yeah, for
yeah,
sure. You
but
know.
it didn't go from 0 to 100 like it
Right.
was.
Those I definitely feel like there's like negative entities that feed off of
Yeah,
feed off of that energy or whatever that you put out sometimes. But that's crazy, dude. Just
yeah.
you know.
Well, we did a little bit of digging because one of my more favorite things outside of like the actual investigation is doing the history.
For sure, I was gonna ask you about that.
Uh,
Like, if you did the history on?
Reading up on the previous
Hmm.
owners, look to see if there's anything else in the neighborhood going on.
Right.
Well, turns out there was a police report about 2 years before they moved in, with the house right next to them.
Really?
Yeah. That house had sat forever, and finally somebody bought it and wanted to restore it. Well, they're tearing the wallpaper down, tearing the carpet up, just completely not quite gutting it, but
Mm-hmm.
making it their own.
Right.
Getting rid of the old. Well, what they found was just pentagrams and all kinds of crazy stuff
No kidding.
written all over the living room,
Huh.
just all over. A huge pentagram on the floor,
Really?
different stuff all over the walls.
There was
And
something going on.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. There's some witchcraft or something going on.
And it
Yeah.
was probably dumb kids.
Yeah, who
You know,
knows?
yeah,
For
like
sure.
hee hee ha ha. Look at what we're doing.
Right.
Look, we're so edgy. Uh,
Little did they know they opened a portal.
something weird.
Right.
Well, if that didn't freak them out enough, they started digging up the backyard about a week and a half after that. Well, they found a dead dog chained to its stake outside dead. Like it,
What?
yeah,
That's terrible.
dude, yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, I'm a little more pissed off about the dog than
Wow.
I am the pentagrams and everything.
Yeah,
I'm
no
like,
doubt.
wow, you
That's
assholes.
messed up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like just
Yeah.
bad juju
Yeah, for sure.
all
Sounds like.
over, and the road, the block itself has always kind of had a weird history.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it
Dude, this sounds like something out of a freaking horror movie or
did.
something.
It really did.
That's
And
just,
I had to keep myself in check the whole time.
right.
I'm like, Forrest,
Right.
this is getting a little deep.
Yeah, for sure.
You know the. Yeah, I feel like somebody's writing it, and I'm just
dude. Right.
playing a part. But
That's funny.
no, not saying it was. There's absolutely no evidence.
Right.
But the house at the end of the street, turning off of the main street, um, that was the witch's house.
Mm-hmm.
Every small town has the old spinster
Right.
that was definitely dabbling in witchcraft.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, just some old widow, and yeah, she's old and unfriendly. She's got to be a witch.
Right.
Um, that was that house, and the locals always had that going on. So that was always a fun afterthought. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, yeah, who knows, maybe.
Who knows?
But never, tongue in cheek sort of deal, not
Right.
not taking it too serious. But we finished that house up, and it was a good time.
Heck yeah.
I enjoyed it. Wasn't too wild about getting pushed.
Right,
trying
yeah.
to be pushed down the stairs.
Dude, that'd be
but,
scary, man.
Man,
That's nuts. What kind of, equipment? I mean, can I, when we go do a ghost adventure, can we use, like, are we going to be good with just, like, our phones and, like, some flashlights, you think? Or is this going to be able to pick up?
yeah, you can use your phone. We actually had the digital recorders,
Okay.
the little handhelds. Like they'll have like for school or
Okay,
in a
yeah.
meeting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, recording. The reason why we use that and not our phones is to eliminate the light from the phone.
Okay.
Um, if we're in a room, we don't want our phones flashing,
Right.
going off, causing reflections or anything, because that could just throw it all off.
Absolutely.
We don't, we want to eliminate light and eliminate sound. It's one less thing we can say, oh, well, maybe it was this.
Right.
So we used little digital recorders. They had, they didn't spend like crazy money, but they had about $1,000 wrapped up into all of
Okay.
it. Had nice digital cameras,
Yeah.
for video cameras, and that worked out great. We had that. We had.
Do you have to use, like, an infrared light or anything? Like,
You could. We didn't.
no.
Them things are just crazy expensive. You
Right.
get into stuff like that. That's a little bit past,
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah.
having fun,
Right.
doing your thing.
Can
That's
can you use like a flashlight like when you're recording to like just
you can.
you know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
there's no reason you can't. But then again, it can't. There's that light thing.
Right.
Light pollution sort of thing.
Right.
Um, Most of the time when we used our flashlights, it was to get wherever we were gonna sit in the room or stand in the room. Not
Right.
not fall down, trip over anything. Just okay, we're at this spot, turn it off,
Right.
do our things.
Because sometimes you can like be recording with a flashlight and you won't see anything, but you go back and watch the video or something, and maybe you catch something that appeared on camera.
Jesus, yeah,
Like I've thought about
yeah.
that. Like
Thank you
I
for
wonder.
reminding. I was so busy talking about the emotional side. We did get one more thing that night, and we looked at the timestamp, and it was when we were showing off all the information from the first investigation. Um, we have pretty much their security cameras.
Yeah.
Like you can string around your house. Well, we had tripods and everything for them. Well, what we did is we had it facing from inside the little girl's bedroom. We had it facing the door into the hallway because they said that the door opens and closes all the time.
Hmm.
Nothing violent, but
Just
more
random.
more than a gust of air.
Right.
Like it'll tilt wide open, all but completely close. It'll close but not latch. So we wanted to try to see if we can get that at any point. Well, we did. We had the door cracked
Hmm.
just a little bit. You can see light coming through from the hallway. Well, it cracked open about halfway, and we seen a tall shadow go by
Nuh-uh,
into
dude.
the master bedroom.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, dude. Into the master bedroom, and then about 10 minutes later, the door creaked again. It wiggled, and then we had seen a short shadow. Like you could, like judging by the bathroom door. Ooh,
It's all good.
pardon me.
It's all good.
Judging by the bathroom door,
Hmm.
we can get kind of a height reference. So we got a tall one going in to the master bedroom and a short one coming out.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, that is crazy, man.
that was. I mean, as far as like something we could actually show,
Hmm.
or because we could sit down there all day long and be like, oh, I felt this, or I
Right.
saw that, or I heard this.
Right. But to have like video evidence,
Yeah,
dude,
to have audio or
for
video,
sure.
something,
And
something.
it's got to hit so much better than like watching a YouTube video because you were there,
Yeah.
you experienced it. There's no video editing going
No,
on.
no,
Like
heck
there
no.
is some creepy shit going on
Yeah,
in this place. That is freaking awesome, dude.
yeah, man, it was wild. That was the creepiest thing the whole time. We're like, I think what unnerved us the most about the shadow,
Hmm.
like if it was just a standard, you know, adult sized shadow, okay, that's creepy enough.
Right.
But no, the big shadow goes in. 10 minutes later, the little shadow comes out, and it was the little shadow that we kind of got creeped out about. Like, okay, why?
Right.
What's going on
Dude, those
there?
interdimensional beings, man,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's no explaining why anything happened. Like
right.
it could have been the same shadow figure, just a different. Who knows, man?
Yeah,
Who
it's
knows, dude? One thing I've thought about, dude, is like, what if because I kind of believe there's like different dimensions,
yeah,
and like parallel universes. What if we're ghosts in like another dimension, dude?
yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
and when we have run-ins with like ghosts and stuff, like what if
yeah,
they're in like a parallel universe and we're the ghosts in their house, dude?
exactly. And it's
Is that crazy to think about?
The scientists, the people way smarter than us,
Right.
say, hey, there's a good chance, there's sort of like a multiverse sort of deal.
Absolutely.
They're saying, the way everything works, and I'm not even gonna try to pretend to
Yeah.
explain it.
Right.
I
It's all
don't
quantum
know.
physics stuff,
Yeah,
dude, for
yeah.
sure.
People way smarter than me
For sure.
describe it, and I'm just like, oh, so there are
I
ghosts.
believe it, dude. I definitely believe it. There's like a multiverse, like
Yeah, and you look at it even in a religious standpoint. Um, like the Catholic faith believes in limbo.
what's limbo?
The it's it's pretty much like the halfway point where you wait to be judged.
Okay.
You wait in limbo until I want to say Saint Peter maybe. I'm
Right.
not Catholic, but
Something
I've
along those
heard
lines.
I've heard of it. Pretty much like, okay, well, your time to be judged, pull you out of limbo, or if you weren't quite good enough
hmm
or bad enough, they just put you in limbo. Um, so there's that within the Catholic doctrine.
hmm
So we're saying it's there's a place that's not quite heaven, not quite hell, and you just wander there. That sounds a lot like where we're at now.
Kind of, yeah.
Like why would it be hard to believe that this isn't limbo?
Right.
You know, not that we're living it,
hmm
but it would understand if it's not quite heaven, it's not quite hell, it's got to be somewhere in the middle.
Right.
So, and we see stuff all the time. Like it's not a one culture gig.
Right.
Every single culture on the planet's like, oh yeah, they're ghosts, totally. And so that's kind of my personal belief. Um, Logical for my the way I'm looking at it, it makes logical sense.
Right.
If they're saying, okay, well, if there's multiple dimensions that exist at the same time, and then even religious doctrine says, oh yeah, there's a space that's right in between.
There's definitely something.
Maybe,
For
yeah,
sure. I
yeah,
definitely believe that.
maybe this is it.
It could be,
Not
man.
not our exact plane of existence, but
Right.
kind of one happening at the same time. So that's my personal belief on it.
Dude, I agree with that.
And
Like
and honestly, that something like that would explain deja vu. Um, the even the like this thing I'm a little personally, you know, how should I put it? I'm skeptical. I'm real skeptical. You've no doubt heard of the Mandela effect.
I have, yes.
Now it's very 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 easy to say, hey, this was like that,
Right.
and then have everyone. You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Power of suggestion.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And but like C-3PO from Star Wars.
Yeah.
What was it? His leg? Wasn't his it was his arm or leg that was silver? He's gold, but I think it's his leg that's silver.
Really.
Yeah, I I could look it up real quick.
I had never. I
If
had
I can remember correctly, but
Yeah.
it's an arm or a leg that's not gold.
Really.
But every single person, that'll like paint a mural or draw a picture, it's not anything.
hmm
Every single time that it's not directly from the film or from whoever that's in charge of the distribution,
hmm
everyone collectively is like, yeah, no, dude, C-3PO is gold. Like the whole body is gold.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Like you ask somebody, hey, is he gold? Yeah,
Yeah. He is.
yeah, duh.
He's
Like
duh.
where the hell are you
I'd never
from?
heard of that one. One I have heard of though, and you might have heard this one, is the Bernstein Bears, and this is probably the most popular one
by far. Yeah,
And for people out there listening, if you don't know what the Mandela effect is, correct me if I'm wrong, Forrest, but Nelson Mandela back, what was in the 80s, I think it was, a lot of people remember the news reporting that he died in prison.
Yeah.
And as we all know, we can Google it if you want. Nelson Mandela just died a few years ago.
About 10,
Yeah.
oh, maybe even almost 20 years ago now. Somewhere
Was
10,
it?
15. I want to say 10, 15 if I remember
I
correctly.
could, yeah, it was something like that.
But one way or the other, he died way later than the 80s.
Right. And
Because
he didn't
if
die in prison.
no,
But a lot
um,
of people remember a news article that he died in prison. So, anyways, that's what the Mandela effect is. It's like remembering something a certain way, but now it's different. So, Berenstain Bears, I remember the books as a kid, and it's Berenstain. It was the Steen was Stein,
yeah,
and if you look it up now, it's Berenstain
Stain,
Bears.
yeah, yeah, Berenstain
Yeah,
Bears,
Berenstain Bears. I'm like, what? No, no. I remember looking at the cover of the book, and it was Stein, Berenstain Bears.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that is one example of that Mandela effect. It's just mind blowing, man.
You get if you get a few good ones.
Yep.
A lot of them again, I would chalk up to
Power of
yeah,
suggestion.
power of suggestion. Yeah,
Okay,
like
yeah.
okay, if you make a good enough case, you can get anybody to believe
Right,
anything.
for sure.
So something like that, if it's because most of the time it's I mean, other than the actual passing away of Nelson Mandela, like that's the biggest one.
Right.
You know, the examples that we just gave are pop culture. You know, they're not significant world events.
Right.
You know, no one's keeping track
Right.
of this exact thing.
Nelson Mandela one is like the one that kind of got people awakened to the fact that
Exactly.
this is going on, and
Yeah.
now, but why is it? There's always questions. There's always so many questions like why, and how, and
Yeah.
for sure. But man, I love the shit though. I love
Oh
that.
yeah.
There's so much more going on in the universe than people can explain or understand.
Yeah.
To me, it's just
My big one that I've always found fascinating was deja vu. I can never, no one can totally explain it.
it's a phenomenon.
It
That's
is a legit phenomenon that happens. Everybody's done it. Everybody's had it. Like, whoa, I've done this before.
yep.
I've seen that before. When did I
Like
see
I
that?
lived this moment
Right.
before. And that happened to me not that long ago. I was actually listening to a podcast. I was driving, listening to a podcast, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And it had just come out, and I was like, I've listened to this before," and I knew what the lady was gonna say, and then she like said it instantly,
Damn.
and I was like, "Whoa, that was weird." Like I remember being in this exact same spot on the road, listening to this exact same moment of this podcast, even though it was
Yeah.
the first time I had ever been listening to it.
Right.
But that to me was wild. And from what I understand, anyways, and it could be true, it could not be, but deja vu, from what I've heard, is just like a sign that you're like on the right path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a reminder and like a sign that you're on the right path, going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. This happened before.
yeah,
You're doing it
for
right.
sure, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
But who knows? Yeah,
Exactly. I
it's all
try to.
speculation.
I try to be as scientific as humanly possible.
For sure.
Yeah, you go down those rabbit holes, and
You want to rule out.
it's a very slippery slope from having a beautiful mind wall and being open to maybe.
Right.
It's you have to take the time to really look, be like, okay, well, it could be this,
Right.
it could be that. If it's not this, if it's not that, okay, then it could be this.
Yeah.
Try
sure.
to give a balancing act to it. But yeah, it a lot of interesting stuff.
Heck yeah, man. Absolutely, dude. I don't know how much time you got. I don't know if you want to wrap this up or not. We are almost at an hour already, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
I'll tell you what, I got more, but hours
Dude,
hours that sweet spot for people. So.
yeah, it is, man. And I'm excited because we're going to be setting up the ghost hunting adventure once it
Dude.
warms up here a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited to get into that, man. You know what I mean? We're going to we're
like
gonna
a
set it up and we're gonna talk about it off air or whatever. But
yeah,
like I'm excited to frickin'
yeah. It's a
dude,
good
I've never
time.
really done it before.
Yeah,
I've been in some situations where it's like, okay, this is creepy, and
yeah,
I think I talked about this story on the last ghost episode that me and my friend Nick did, but I lived in a trailer park in a trailer, and dude, there was some crazy stuff going on there.
yeah.
Footsteps running down the hallway, man, phone falling off the buffet, dude. It was a creepy place, man.
No
It was a
shit,
creepy
man.
place, dude. But
Yeah, no, I'm crazy excited
heck
for that.
yeah, and
I'll help you guys
hell yeah, dude.
with
And
all of that.
we're gonna do a video on it, edit it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be on the channel. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
dude,
So
sounds fantastic.
yep. So everybody out there listening, stay tuned for that. That will be coming up on the show. This is Forrest. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. And I'll see you guys on the next one.